It is Tuesday, the 10th of September, 2024. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. You know, I've talked about so many songs at this point. I think we're around episode 140-ish. And, there are so many bands I want to talk about, so many artists I want to talk about, so many different songs I want to talk about. And occasionally I'll be like, oh, I want to talk about this song, and then realize that somehow I haven't talked about that artist yet. But it's just so much I want to talk about that's inevitably going to happen. So today we're talking about the White Stripes. The White Stripes, of course, were a duo composed of Jack White and Meg White, despite rumors that they were siblings. They were, in fact, ex-partners. They were married. They got a divorce. They formed a band. They were great. One of my favorite bands. I really, really love them. They're one of those bands that I sometimes forget about, and then I listen to their entire discography again, and I'm like, oh man, I fucking love the White Stripes so much. Ball and Biscuit in particular gets me every single time. It's so good. White Moon as well, for completely different reasons. But today we're talking about the song We're Gonna Be Friends. I've always had an affection for this song. I've known it since I was very young. I mean, it was on the album White Blood Cells, which came out in 2001. So I was 6 when this album came out, and my sister listened to the White Stripes, so I heard a fair bit. More so of Elephant, but certainly the earlier albums as well. And so I heard this song definitely. And I've just always had a soft spot for it. It's just a really sweet song. It's so funny thinking this is the first White Stripes song I talk about, because they're generally like a garage, grungy sort of sound. Bluesy, very much so. And this is like a very deliberate contrast to that. It's a very soft and sweet and straightforward acoustic song. So let's just go ahead and listen to it and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. It's just such a sweet song, really. So gentle, You compare that to, Fell in Love with a Girl, right? Or I Think I Smell a Rat, really menacing. Oh, I think I smell a rat. And then you've got this song, I can tell that we are gonna be friends. It's quite a contrast, to say the least. So, the song is about 2 kids going to school and becoming friends. And it's really as simple as that. There are some people that read a romantic read into it, and you can read that, sure. But at the end of the day, it's a song about being friends, and I like just reading it as purely platonic. It's just about kids being friends, and it's great. One thing I will point out, it mentions the name Susie. Once again, Audacity has crashed mid-recording. I don't know why that keeps happening. Someone please explain it to me. Is it just a bad program? The devil, you say. Anyway, one of the things I do want to point out is that this song mentions the name Susie Lee. And Susie Lee was a recurring character in the White Stripes music. Jack White loves themes. He loves symbology. He loves the number 3. He loves peppermint designs and the colors red and white. And on the White Stripes self-titled debut album, they have a song called Susie Lee. And then he liked to mention her in a few other songs. He mentions her in We're Gonna Be Friends, as I said. And he also, in the dedication for Get Behind Me Satan, it says, to Susie Lee, wherever she may be. And so some people figure that it was an actual childhood friend of Jack's. No one actually knows. But it's just interesting to have that recurring imagery. He also loves the recurring imagery of redheads, which is interesting. The man has a type. Anyway, let's talk about the song. Fall is here, hear the yell, back to school, ring the bell, brand new shoes, walking blues, climb the fence, books and pens. I can tell that we are going to be friends. I can tell that we are going to be friends. I just remembered that I have a playlist called Books and Pens that has this song on it, and I really like that playlist. It's like a nice, comforting, acoustic-y sort of playlist. Anyway, it is autumn week here, of course, and the first word of the song is fall, so, I had to include it. It gives me that real autumnal feel because it's about going back to school, Big August energy. I know it's September, shut up. But yeah, I like the simple rhyming pattern with, hear the yell, ring the bell. Brand new shoes is a good detail. You're getting new school shoes every year, Walking blues, being sad about walking to school. I get it. Climb the fence, books and pens. It's just kind of listing all these things to do with childhood. And then walk with me, Susie Lee, through the park and by the tree. We will rest upon the ground and look at all the bugs we found. Safely walk to school without a sound. So, yeah, he's talking about walking to school with a specific person. They go through a park, they sit on the ground, they look at bugs, just normal child activity. I do think it's interesting, safely walk to school without a sound. I know it's the rhyme with ground and found, but I find it interesting that they're not talking. Here we are, no one else. We walk to school all by ourselves. There's dirt on our uniforms from chasing all the ants and worms. We clean up and now it's time to learn. So yeah, they walk to school all by themselves, but they're with each other, right? There's dirt in their uniforms from rolling around with the bugs, but they clean up and now it's time to learn. they kind of have their fun time together before class, and then they have to get ready for class and look presentable. Numbers, letters, learn to spell, nouns and books and show and tell. Playtime, we will throw the ball. Back to class, through the hall. Teacher marks our height against the wall. Teacher marks our height against the wall. So yeah, going through the kind of things you talk about in school. Numbers, letters, learn to spell, nouns and books and show and tell. It's all these normal things. Although I feel like they are an American band. They're from Detroit. And show and tell feels like such an American thing, even though we did show and tell in my school as well. But it's such a thing in American television. But yeah, teacher marks our height against the wall also implies, the passage of time as they get taller, they keep marking their height against the wall. And then the bridge, we don't notice any time pass. We don't notice anything. We sit side by side in every class. Teacher thinks that I sound funny, but she likes the way you sing. So it's the old adage of time flies when you're having fun. They're with each other. They're having fun in class. They don't notice time passing or anything. They're just having fun. Someone commented on the music video, a Winnie the Pooh quote, "We didn't realize we were making memories. We just knew we were having fun." And yeah, that's very much it, right? As a kid, you don't know, you're not valuing the days and shit. You're just doing shit and you're having fun. You're hanging out with your friends and it all just kind of blurs together. We sit side by side in every class. That's how close they are, Teacher thinks that I sound funny, but she likes the way you sing. Now, I've always thought this is a funny thing here. I just assumed that it was kind of a joke about Jack having an unconventional singing voice or something. And so he, as a kid, the teacher thinks he sounds funny, but she likes the way you sing. But someone pointed out on Genius, this could be referring to puberty. His voice cracking, that makes complete sense to me. So it kind of implies even more passage of time, but then it goes back through the sort of kindergarten-y, primary school-y stuff, so I'm not sure about the time frame of it, but that's an interesting interpretation of that line, certainly. Tonight I'll dream while I'm in bed, when silly thoughts go through my head, about the bugs and alphabet, and when I wake tomorrow I bet that you and I will walk together again. I can tell that we are going to be friends. Yes, I can tell that we are going to be friends. So yeah, they're finishing school, they go to bed, and they have their dreams about school, and their dreams about school include each other, and they go to school again together the next day and rinse repeat. And I just love the sweetness of the whole thing, these silly childhood memories and just how much they kind of value hanging out with each other. Like I said, like this platonic friendship and the recurring line of "we are going to be friends." I can tell that we are going to be friends, no less. It's such a nice phrase to me because it's like, it's not like, oh, I want to be your friend. It's, I can tell that we are going to be friends. Like, you are exactly the kind of person that I enjoy, This is meant to be as a friendship. So yeah, I don't have much else to say about it. I mean, it's a short song. It's a simple song. Good acoustic guitar. I enjoyed the music video so they had recorded the music video for Hotel Yorba. And then they recorded the music video for this afterwards, after they had finished shooting. And Meg is just like asleep on a couch, and Jack is playing this song to himself, which I enjoy. I like that. It's a very simple. It fits the sort of relaxed vibe to the song, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I'll certainly be talking about more White Stripes in the future. I really love them. Those songs I mentioned earlier, other songs, of course. The recent Jack White album is weird. There's good songs on it, and it's really poorly mixed, I thought, but I did enjoy the album itself. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below, tell me what you think, tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.
So today we're talking about the White Stripes. I forgot I had a coffee. Not anymore.